revealing her battle with anorexia, eating disorders on the rise during the pandemic. Taylor Whitworth spoke exclusively to Holiday about her struggle and what she wants others to know. Good morning, Katie.
Michael, good morning. Now, she says it was hard for her to hear that diagnosis, confusing even. And this morning, she says she's proof that eating disorders don't discriminate. This morning, supermodel Tess Holiday revealing her struggle with anorexia. The mother of two saying she was recently diagnosed by a psychologist, but has ultimately been struggling with disordered eating most of her life.
I always thought that I overate. But then people in my life would say, oh yeah, I eat more than Tess. And it was almost like I wore it as a badge of honor.
Known for loving and celebrating her curves as a body positive activist, Holiday has been receiving support for her honesty from many, but also being questioned by some online about how she could love her body and also have an eating disorder.
I've had a lot of messages from folks that are anorexic that are livid and angry because they feel like I'm lying. I am plus size, but advocating for diversity in larger bodies. So I think for people hearing...
Yo, you can go first, my man.
You know what? Look, unless there's been some kind of big breakthrough in the medical field that we haven't heard of, because the last time I checked, anorexia, its main characteristic is that a person ends up underweight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Mm. So I'm just confused. This woman is a medical phenomenon. You know, a medical question mark. I don't know how you're overweight and anorexic at the same time.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense.
100%. The problem with what she's saying, and I think what she said is that a lot of really skinny people who are dealing with anorexia, by the definition, the dictionary definition, are complaining about what she's saying. I think the problem is probably that she's defining it wrong. If she genuinely believes she has a problem, I don't think she should classify it as anorexia. This might be one of two things.
Okay.
This might be a misdiagnosis on her part, or someone lied to her.
The doctor's part.
Exactly.
This psychologist needs to be
called to order,
put under the microscope.
Where did you get your degree, right? No, you're right. It's either he made a misdiagnosis and told her that she does have this condition, or number two, she has a mental problem.
Yeah, these.
You see?
Yeah.
Because I can also say this whole, modern society that we live in, guys, is that if I identify as something, just because I feel like it does not mean I am it. Okay.
It's like a dwarf.
Identifying as a tall person.
Same they've been diagnosed with giantism.
Oh wow, that is classic.
Somehow,
it's exactly the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Okay, now jokes aside, and because with these things, these kinds of topics get very, what's the word? People clash, people argue, blah blah blah, and there's a lot of divisiveness over this.
Yeah.
Let me try and understand what I will give her as a possibility. Maybe she hasn't articulated this properly, right? Mm-hmm. Perhaps she says she's been struggling with eating her whole life, clearly, right?
Obviously.
Is it possible? I don't know. Okay, what's the definition? Let's check the definition of anorexia to begin with.
Okay. Right.
All right. Let's do that.
Which should be
it's anorexia nervosa definition. Let's see. An eating disorder characterized by restriction of food intake leading to low body weight, typically accompanied by intense fear of gaining weight and disturbed perception of body weight and image. Cool. So we've been knowing what anorexia is.
Yeah.
At best, is it possible like she became fat and now she's developed anorexia? But how would they know you've developed anorexia when you're still overweight? Exactly. How would you know that?
Exactly.
So I don't know. I'm trying to sort of See, that's possible. Here's what I would believe. If she said, "Oh, I've got bulimia," yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Like you're fat, you're not feeling good about yourself, and all this kind of stuff, and then you start eating and vomiting food, blah blah blah. And even again with bulimia, we want to see a significant reduction in weight. That's the key thing. So yeah, I've tried. You know, we're not trying to just
we're not
knock
trying to be
people,
controversial.
We're trying to understand here, like, so that's the best I can give and say,
Yeah, that's why I said it's either one of two scenarios: that she got misdiagnosed by a doctor, and number two, maybe she does genuinely have a mental problem. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, who am I to say she has a mental problem?
Yeah.
Someone will say, I don't have the right to say she has a mental problem because she does identify as being anorexic. Who are we skinny people to judge her as a as an overweight woman, especially a skinny man, saying things like this? You see, I'm gonna get, not that I'm gonna get attacked, but it's like you're not getting the real issue at hand.
Yeah.
So again, what I'm trying to say is that we live in such a time whereby you have to be so careful of the words that you use or the feet that you tread on, that you are always in a cautionary mode.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to say something wrong that's going to offend different people. Hence, she did actually admit that a lot of skinny people are coming out and actually blaming her for saying you're not supposed to say such things.
Yeah, because those people are living the real struggle.
Exactly.
They know exactly what they're talking about.
What it means, yeah.
But in today's society, even those people are going to get shut down. You know what I mean? I mean, their own logic, these people that tend to attack, like, for example, if you're not trans, you can't talk about trans issues, whatever. Well, okay, they are anorexic, but you'll find they still get shut down anyway. It's just a technique to disarm you and for the debate not to happen. You don't have to win a debate if it doesn't exist. That's the best way. Don't have the debate so I win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
100%.
But anyway, let's hear the rest of her thing, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, cool.
Say I'm anorexic was really jarring.
Holiday's dietitian, Anna Sweeney, says, if you think that most eating disorders are visible conditions, you're wrong. Eating disorders don't have to look a certain way.
I understand that people look at me and I don't fit what we have seen presented as, the diagnosis for anorexia. But then for me, that tells me that there's a larger problem, which I've been actually saying for years, is that we have a lack of diversity and representation in the world.
Eating disorders are extremely common and may affect nearly 1 in every 10 people. According to a recent study, about 9% of the U.S. population, almost 29 million people, will have an eating disorder in their lifetime. And the numbers are on the rise during the pandemic. The National Eating Disorders Association reporting a 41% increase in calls to their helplines. Holiday sharing highs and lows, including her divorce, with over 2 million followers on Instagram, hoping to reach others that might be facing a similar battle.
You wrote, I'm the result of a culture that celebrates thinness and equates that to worth, but I get to write my own narrative. So tell me, what is that stuff?
My own narrative.
Your own truth.
Your own truth. There we go.
Yeah.
You see? And by the way, she has how many 2 million followers on Instagram?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We live in a culture whereby, guys, we have a lot of influencer. We live in an influencer culture, whereby you have a lot of followers, you have a lot of people who listen to what you say. Just because you have a platform, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying she does have a huge following, but because you have a platform, and does not mean that the numbers that you have equate to the more sense that or truth that you are seeking, or which you are saying.
Yeah.
So I think with sometimes, I'm not saying this is the case, but you find that people who tend to follow some of these celebrities, they tend to jump on the bandwagon of what they are saying and end up, sort of emphasizing or justifying whatever words they say. And this also further, separates the person from reality, because people will always tell you what you want to hear, especially with such a following. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that this could be a case of, like what we said, that she is misdiagnosing, which she did admit that she got this from a diagnosis from who.
And the diagnosis even confused her.
Here we go.
I don't know what convinced her to accept it eventually, but And what you're talking about with the platforms and huge followings, a little bit it's related, but it's one of our other reactions, which is a music reaction. Remember when we did Marilyn Manson's "The Beautiful People"?
Mm-hmm.
He has this a line about it all depends on the size of your steeple. She's got a big ass steeple.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, like the beautiful people, that's what they call beautiful. The sheep, the ones who don't think it's beautiful now because somebody's got a big steeple.
Mm.
She's the same model, by the way, who did the cover of
I think it was Vogue
or something.
Yeah,
as I don't know if the first plus size model on a cover or whatever, and pushing the idea that you can be, look, if I eyeball her, she looks like 300 pounds. 300 pounds and healthy. That's crazy. But if your steeple is big enough,
there we go.
then whatever thing you come up with gets justified by the science of your following.
100%. I agree with you. So that, I think, also plays into the culture that we live in, that, it does not matter how many followers you have, but that should not justify you the words that you say. You get what I'm saying? All right, let's continue.
Sky is the limit. I actually feel like I can take on the things that life is throwing my way. And I have been happier in the last 6 months through my recovery than I've been in my entire life. I feel whole. I feel at peace. I really feel in my power.
She says her dietitian has her focusing on eating 3 meals a day, and she's doing Pilates. Also, the Cleveland Journal of Medicine did a study finding that restrictive eating disorders tend to be under-recognized in patients with larger bodies. Guys.
Okay, so that was a very large topic.
Yeah.
And
very large.
Yeah. And she says she feels whole. Yeah, she feels whole.
Whole. Are you doing some purpose?
No.
A very large topic feels whole.
But she did say so. Anyway,
yeah.
but you see, back to what we said. She feels that she's in a good place in the past 6 months. She's happy. This is the happiest she's ever been.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever you feel like, or whatever happiness that you derive from that diagnosis, that's on her.
That's fine, but I have a problem with, I think now we've just got a culture where my feelings are everything. She can feel like that, whatever, that's cool, but certain ideas I think she's trying to push out there are destructive. For instance, this week I just caught a little glimpse of 1,000-pound sisters on TLC.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, the one sister's actually taking her weight loss serious.
Okay.
And she's down to 275 pounds, and she was going to go see the doctor there. And the doctor was telling her he's not happy, her weight's not right yet for her to even think about having another child. I'm not sure how she did the first one, to be honest.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, dude, that's a doctor telling a woman who's 275 saying, listen, I want to see more from you. Tess is bigger than that. You know what I mean? But she's gracing the covers of magazines and selling a whole other narrative that you can be, you can be healthy and all this. We all know that isn't true.
Yeah.
Bruh, when I started jogging at the age of 24, it was because I was 24 years old and I literally got winded running upstairs at 24. And I'm nowhere near that size.
Yeah.
So if we're feeling it at this, it's a lie. It's a complete lie. I can't really back this. And kudos for the presenter for keeping a straight face throughout this whole presentation.
But again, sorry for interrupting you. Some of these platforms, again, some of these platforms that have followings and a huge group of people, they brought her on because she is popular. If it was a normal woman, who's just some, divorcee who feels like how Tess Holiday feels, wouldn't be on this platform. The only reason why she has a voice is because of, again, her amount of followers that she has. The only way that she could have graced that cover of that magazine is because she has that influence. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the only reason why she was here is because of that platform. So again, they also they also have to go with the narrative.
Yeah.
This is a numbers game.
Mm.
This is a numbers game. She attracts an audience. People will definitely have watched this, regardless of whether she was telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
And they are paid presenters, and some of them won't have the opinion that we have because we don't have, you know, that big of a platform to actually keep a straight face. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I agree with you, my man. It's all about the narrative at the end of the day. But unfortunately, with society as it's going, the more people perpetuate and justify bad behavior, is the more that society will tend to just hide their heads underneath the sand like ostriches, where they actually see something wrong. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, that was the video. You know, as controversial as it is, let us know what you guys think about it. Tell us if you for what she's saying, or maybe you disagree as well. You know, just let us know your overall thoughts about the topic. Yeah. All right. See you guys on the next one. Please don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.
Raleigh's in the back taking his shoes off.
I know, this is really good.